Hi, you guys. Welcome back to our Good Vibes Tuesday night Zoom classes. We've taken a couple of months off. What was going to be just like 4 weeks ended up being 8 weeks, which is fine because I feel like we all need a little bit of time to recoup and just get rested and re-energized. And so I don't think there's a better time to come back and share with you guys some exciting news and some excitement that we're all going through, having just attended doTERRA's Shine Convention 2025. And I love the title. I think that it couldn't be any better of just letting, and especially with Mel Robbins being our keynote speaker, which I'm like, she's not a keynote speaker. She was a freaking entertainer. She was absolutely dynamite. And Leslie and Ani and she just ran right next to us and we really got some close ups of her, which was really kind of fun. I've always followed her, but I have committed to really going into her principles and her teachings and seeing how I can, take it next level and really take my business and myself, my mindset especially, to the next place. And I love that the shine gets to come in on here because when we're talking about, you know, what other people think of us, or are we salesy, or essential oils stink. And I mean, there's so many things that we let other people's opinions get in our way. And when we just kind of let them have their opinion and let them do their thing, and maybe sometimes we've been sharing with people and we know that they can have a really great benefit for something, and yet they don't do it. Or we'll have a protocol and you're like, okay, well, are you using it? Well, no, I keep forgetting. It's like, it gets so frustrating. But we get to just say, you know what? Let them let go and then let us shine our lights. So we're talk about that for a while in our Good Vibes tribe. Right here, I just wanted to show you guys some of the really cool things that doTERRA does every year. The backpack that's shown in the middle, I love that they have a high quality backpack. It always has places for essential oils and different things, but they have the places for the water bottles on the outsides. And I love that it also has a really great logo. People will know what you do. It just when you're traveling around, whether it's school events or picnicking backpack. This one's bright enough that it could stop traffic. So really, really nice. Some of the other things that they've done, which they're going to make available for us soon, is on the far left corner, you can see the little sample oils. Now, they come in like a little pillow pack like this, and each day they had different things. So this one said, ignite the light. There was another one that said, time to share, time to shine. And then each one of them has the little packets that has about, I'm going to say about 10 drops or so. Wouldn't you guys say about 10 drops of essential oil? And what's nice about this is it's a great way to sample the essential oils without, and they lay flat. So you can throw them in an envelope. They're really easy to use. And then I love how professional they look. They'll have the top 10 oils that we get for our free oils for the product of the month. They will have those available for us to be able to share and purchase pretty soon. Another thing that I love is in the center of the screen, they have little flags, and these flags kind of identify some of the achievements and some of the different things that you have been able to do. These are some of them. Some people you walk by and they've got the flags hanging down to the floor, and some people just don't use theirs or put them on. But I love that it's just kind of like a reminder of some of the things that we get to do and planting trees. I was able to go to Kona with quite a few of you guys that are on the screen here today and plant sandalwood trees a few years back, and it was an experience that is just like such an incredible thing to be able to do. And then now fast forward, they've actually done different pictures and things of the growth of those trees. Now in the right hand corner, so different ranks get recognized in different ways. I'm super grateful that I get to lead a diamond team. Every one of you guys help with that, right? You guys are all a part of it. And every year they really try to make it something special. And so some of those gifts that they leave at the seat are there for us. I love that everyone gets something, right? We all get notebooks and the pens and the essential oils and the experience. And you can't go away unchanged when you go to something like this. I just want to say another extra shout out and thank you to everyone who gave me little special gifts. It was so meaningful, and they aren't all pictured here, but I got a essential oil for grandma's book, which is super exciting because I'll be a grandma coming up soon. And then Sarah has done something for us that we have in a lot of our pictures. Is she had a gal take the Shine logo and make it into a plaque, which we were able to hold up. So it was really fun. Just those extra added things really make our community and our gatherings extra fun. So I want to say thanks to you guys for being a part of this and what we do. All right, who wants to jump into the new products? Here they are. This is the first time doTERRA has had a kit that hasn't been, 10 new oils or different new products and a whole product launch. And I'm actually very excited about that because I feel like what doTERRA is focusing on is making what they do and who we are as a company even better and stronger. And we're going to dive into each one of these products. If you guys have questions, make sure you write them down. The intention of this Zoom call tonight is to kind of give you an overview of what these products are for. And then throughout the months, we're going to do a deeper dive on each product individually. So if you have questions, make sure that you write them down or let us know, and we'll do our best tonight to answer those for you because when we're informed and we know what to do and what they are, is so much better. So congratulations on being here and making the time to learn. So Revita Zen, which is a really great new product, they used Zendocrine as a template for what do people love most about it, and then how can we make it even better? So I'm excited to tell you that this product is going to, or has replaced Zendocrine, and we'll dive deeper in there. And feel free, you guys, to take screenshots of some of these things because you will definitely see things that you'll want to refer back to. You can share them with your family, your friends, people that you work with, people who might be interested. That other product is castor oil. A lot of times people are like, well, how come has it been so long? Because, castor oil has been out there, in a hot topic for a while now. And just like everything else, doTERRA wants to make sure that where they're sourcing it is reliable, that they'll be able to get something that they can trust, that just like all of the other essential oils that they have rigorous tests and things that they have to come to a certain standard or we won't use it. And just like if you're looking at coconut oil, how many different types of coconut oil are out there? I remember being at the grocery store, and at 70 degrees, most solid coconut oil should start to melt. Well, it was like, 80 degrees. It wasn't really melted. And when it did melt, it was all foggy looking. Well, the more I learned about it, I learned that how unclean it was, and it hadn't been filtered or anything. So there are all kinds of different contaminants and things like that in that coconut oil. Well, fast forward to doTERRA's CPTG testing, making sure that it is, all of those things, it's beyond organic, and we'll dig a little deeper. And I actually think that one of the products that people are going to be most excited about is Past Tense. How many of you guys are back from the time of the Past Tense roller? It's like, I don't know, it's got to be like 4 or 5 years ago now. And because of one ingredient that they needed to put a safety cap on it, and then COVID happened and they weren't able to get a safety cap for a roller bottle. So then they put it in a bottle, a 15 ml bottle. And of course, people still buy it, but we usually teach them how to make their own roller. But this solves so many problems with the Past Tense stick. All right, let's dig in a little bit. All right, so past tense, you'll see that there is a little change on the ingredient list. One thing that I love about past tense is it's got some heavy duty oils in there, you guys. Think of all of the things that you can do with frankincense. And we've got marjoram and rosemary. I mean, you can go down this list and there's some of them that are for, aches and pains. And of course, this one is formulated for when you have tension in the shoulders or tension in the back of your neck, or maybe it's your lower back. Also, we have cilantro, and they've added sweet gum. So sweet gum comes from the amber plants and it brings in that extra bit of calmness and is awesome. It's really, really great. It smells amazing. So The smell hasn't changed very much. I'm gonna say, if anything, it kind of just softened the smell. You guys, past tense. What do we use past tense for? I love past tense because I would carry it on trips with me, because anytime I'd have a bug bite or some kind of skin irritation, or when the fingernail when it kind of snags and stuff and it gets super sore. If you look at some of the ingredients in here, you'll see why it was a really great go-to, because it has so many different things in it. We can see that the new formula, you guys, if you take the 10 ml roller bottle liquid, this has the same amount of essential oil in the stick. It's also a 10 ml. So what I love is it's messy, or it's mess free. So I think one of my first experiences with somebody with past tense is they came into my store and they said, I heard you have an oil for fill in the blank. And it was like that tension in your head. And she takes the roller bottle and she starts putting it across her forehead. And she's making these swirling motions as she's going across. And I can see oil running down her face about the time it hit her eyes. And she's like, oh my gosh, on fire. And so what does she do? And I was new. She ran straight to the bathroom, started splashing water in her eyes, which made it worse. So I can't tell you how many times people have done that. And now with this new formula with the stick, you'll be able to apply it where you need it, when you need it, and be able to control all of that from happening. I love that it's super easy. It glides just like our other sticks. How many of you guys, tell us in the comment, do you like the sticks? Like, I absolutely love the stick application. And you can, remember, we've got the essential oil, so you could put the oil on first if you want a little bit more concentration, and then put the stick on top of it. It's, gosh, by the time you put all of these different essential oils, you can see that it pretty much hits everything for inflammation and also for calming and relaxation. It is safe for all skin types. I know that that's a question we're going to start getting, is who can use it and who can't. Because there's nothing in here that like a pregnant mom couldn't use, or, I think if somebody has super sensitive skin, this might be the best way for them to try it, because you can just put a little dab will do you, right? And you can really target the areas that you're going to be putting it. Some of my favorite places is I'll go just like back into the hairline from by my eyes to my temples. I also love, if you know somebody who, sits at a computer or drives. How many of you guys know people who drive for a living, big trucks and things like that, is you get really tight and sore across the neck. And so what I would teach is to put this on across the back of that neck before they go to work and before they start. If you know you've got a big day, bending over in the garden or something, you can go ahead and try it then. I also think that if somebody's looking for even more support, why couldn't you partner this up with a little bit more frankincense, the frankincense stick, and also the deep blue? So you could put past tense on one arm, right? And you could put frankincense on the other, and then you can mix them together, and that would give you a really great way to use them both at the same time without, going over them at the same time. One of the things that I also want to point out here is, just like everything that doTERRA does, it's done with excellence. It's done with a lot of care and a lot of thought, and this is a targeted product that people have been asking for a really long time. So if you use this, if you're doing this as a business and you love to share like I do, you might think about the people who have been asking about past tense rollers for a long time, and see who is going to be excited. This product will be available starting October 1st. Okay, so next product, castor oil. How many of you guys have used it already? Does anybody have something they'd like to share about castor oil? Ani, I saw you kind of wave a little bit. Do you want to tell us what you like about it?
Hi. Oh, I was just saying I've used it before. I love it. I love it on my lashes and my eyebrows nightly after I wash my face. You can even take your like makeup off. It just makes it so smooth and easy. But I just love the cooling, the shine. I use the castor pack, oil pack as well. Just to drop in my belly button and then kind of work around around that area. And the first few days, definitely recommend maybe using it for an hour or so just to get used to it. And then when I initially started doing this, about a week or so into it, I started sleeping with my pack. So it feels a little uncomfortable, and it can cause, I believe, it hasn't done it for me. If you put it too much, too fast, kind of the runs, you know. So just be careful, take it easy, and I love it. Great skin, and they say it's great like for kids if you want to use a lavender, just massage it on baby's feet. I mean, you could apply it any and every possible way.
So good. So you guys, just kind of like what I touched on a little bit before, is not all castor oils are created the same. And I want you to remember, that's the first question I asked the gal when I went up to the expert at convention was, why would I buy this one over others? Because there's a lot of different castor oils, a lot of different companies and things like that. And she said, because it's got the CPTG certified pure tested oil seal of approval on it. And they really do go to the best sources. And that's why it's also taken them a while, is to make sure that we are getting something that's not just a fish oil, right? It's not just a coconut oil. It's not just an essential oil. And so when we start really looking into it's organically grown and made. It's cold pressed, so that means that it's going to retain some of its full nutrients and things. When things get heated up and the way that they process through a plant or a product, you guys, there's so many things. Think of, a fresh basil in your garden. But if you're going to crunch it up or boil it in hot water, what do you think happens to it? It's going to lose some of its flavor and its taste and its benefits. So it really is important that we, take good care of it. I know that they are very thoughtful when it comes to, even when what season they produce this. So it's also safe for all skin types. Everyone in your family can use it. And like Ani said, if you aren't already using a castor oil, I mean, come on, you guys. My grandma used castor oil. And so, what I really want to say here is we're getting back to the same type of castor oil that my grandma used and maybe even better, because
Oh,
over time it's completely changed and it's not like it used to be, but now we've got something that is. I love right here, it takes 450 to 500 seeds to make a 300 ml bottle, which is shown here on the screen. So this is the size of it. It's glass, which I love, and it's got, all of the things that you need to know on here. It also, and I think they only make, I can't remember how many bottles per harvest on one. It's only a couple of bottles per plant. It's also small farmers in India. So anyone who is familiar with our co-impact sourcing, sometimes you'll think of, like lemon orchards for, lemonade and stuff. And it's just like, we're talking thousands and thousands and thousands of trees. And going back to what doTERRA does with their small farmers is you might have a field of, I'm going to say like 50 plants. And as long as your products, the soil is tested, the plant is tested, everything around it is tested to make sure that it keeps our CPTG, then they will harvest and purchase from small farms. And I love that about these guys. So local people, can have co-ops and make the stuff. So it's sustainable practices. Another thing that is very important for anyone who is ranchers or farmers is to make sure that they're turning over their crops and that they don't overuse or over harvest the plant or the soil itself, because that's when, the ground gets all the nutrients taken out of it. And even if we were growing something and the soil is nutrient deficient, what kind of product are we coming up with? So I love that doTERRA is continuing to be mindful on all the different ways that they bring products to us. Okay, so three easy ways to use castor oil. The funny thing, I bought 2 kits while I was at convention. I brought one home. I opened it up on the counter, left it on the counter, told my husband all about it, whatever. Went to bed. The next morning I get up and everything's gone except for the past tense stick. And I'm like, what the heck? Where is everything? And he goes, oh, I thought that was for me. And he's already been using everything and he's so excited about it. And so really cool is he had got scraped by a big, like a piece of wood dropped down the front of his forearms and completely ripped the skin off of both of them. And so it's pretty gnarly looking. And he instantly put some Immortelle and some castor oil on it. So now we're on day 2. He's in it 2 days now. You guys, it's half better. I was blown away with how good it looks. And he's like, I'm totally happy. And I was saying, oh gosh, I'll get it in a roller and I could put a little spray top on it or a pump. And he's like, no, what's wrong with me? Just pouring it out of the bottle and into my hand. And so, and it is a little bit thicker. It's a little bit sticky. And he goes, that's what I like about it, Haley, is because it stays on the surface longer. And it really, like, he already is probably my favorite, or well, he is my best fan right now because he's the only one who has tried it in my family. Okay, 3 ways to use it. Lonnie mentioned the castor oil pack. So this is something that you can purchase. doTERRA, they sold out. I don't know how quick, but as soon as they put them in the bins for people to buy, they were gone. And it basically is this wrap that we'll be talking more about this, especially when we go a little deeper, but you would be able to keep it in the area. So it keeps it from staining your clothes. It keeps it on the surface where you want it to be. You know, and some people, 30, 40 minutes, some others are overnight with it. We do recommend, if you have not used castor oil, that you start with a little and you work your way up. Because as we explained to you guys all the ways you can use it, you're going to be going, okay, it's in my daily routine. Some way or another, I'm going to be using it. Okay, so then that other one is directly in your belly button. So we talk a lot about adding essential oils, especially for any kind of digestive or stomach type uses, whether you want to get things going, whether you want to clean things out, whether you need to, do whatever for your stomach. You could just put a couple of essential oils drops in there and a couple of drops of the castor oil. Now they had little patches that they gave us to just try and sample. It was just like a little round patch and it had a little sticker around it, I'm going to say like a little, I don't know, like tattoo or something. But you can also purchase those. We looked them up on Amazon and you can get a bunch of them. They're not very expensive. But if you know somebody who is constantly dealing with, I'm going to say, any of your endocrine system, any digestive stuff, consider, especially if they don't like the smell of the oils, being able to add this into the belly button and then let it do its work. People who I've heard have been using it that way absolutely love it. And then the third way is just to spot use it. So you'll see here that they talk about, eyebrows, hairs. Ani talked about her lashes and her scalp. Just being able to take something like on the right-hand side, you can see we've got, putting it into your skin. So if you have drier skin or puffy swelling, blemishes and different things like that, you could just like put a little drop on there. Now, I love that we can partner these with essential oils. So a great scalp massage, especially for hair growth, hair thickening, hair nourishment. Rosemary, rosemary. You could also probably take our root to tip serum and maybe add that in there. I think for a long time, I've been buying from one of our essential oil community members, a lash I'm going to say like conditioner, and it's always been made with castor oil, and then she puts 1 drop of rosemary and 1 drop of lavender in the bottle, and then she just, anyway, it's really, really nice. I would say that when you're using essential oils with your lashes, to make sure that you use less more often because it can be very potent, especially next to your eyes. So a little bit goes a really long ways. Cuticle nail, being able to just, put it around your cuticles. And we know that, is it grapefruit that's really great for your cuticles? There's an essential oil that is really great. And like I'm saying, belly aches, we can definitely do those. We've been making a face glow, a serum, for a long time, and I can't wait to add some of this castor oil into that to just, see what happens. Now, there is a note on here that talks about it does stain. It's hard to wash out. So make sure that's why those castor oil packs, or, you put something in between your, put it on your skin, then put something in between your clothes if you don't want that oil stain. And then I'm going to also talk about athletes. So what they have found is because it sticks and it stays in the area longer than say our fractionated coconut oil or our uh, lotions and different rubs and different things like that, is you might consider, taking some of those oils like wintergreen or aroma touch, deep blue, maybe the past tense oil, putting them together and making a something that you can put on the skin. It does take a little bit to absorb into the skin, but I noticed that once it does, the skin is so soft and just feels amazing. Okay. Here are some oil recommendations for castor oil. This would be a great one to take a screenshot of. And you could just kind of mix and match some of these oils, just see which ones make the most sense. This women's routine support. So it doesn't matter where you are in your life. There are certain oils that help us through all of those transition times, whether it's for just, our cramping or feeling bloated. We just need to calm down. And really, you guys consider taking like a roller bottle. You could take your 15 ml roller bottle, you could take a dropper bottle. Repurposing bottles for this would make a lot of sense. And when you add that castor oil, it's not only going to help to, pull toxins and pull things out of the body, but it's also very calming and very soothing. Um, I like, the Clary Sage, Clary Calm, Ylang Ylang, all of those really fun different things. Gosh, how many of you guys, like when I was pregnant with my last son, I needed to go into labor. He was overdue. And so I drank castor oil. It was something that was handed down from everybody did, it's just what you would do. But what I found is and I chased it with root beer. That's probably why I don't love root beer anymore. Is it's like it made my stomach start cramping, and part of that is because I took a lot of it. So back to what Ani had pointed out is a little bit. Try a little. Do you want to add something, Ani?
Oh.
Oh, sorry. I just noticed you were unmuted. It's cool. So anybody have anything that they want to add? Any tips or anything about castor oil?
I did have a question about the castor oil with pregnancies because I have a friend right now who's pregnant and she saw that doTERRA came out with castor oil and she was asking about using it throughout pregnancy, if that's safe or not.
So I've read that it is 100% safe.
Okay.
As far as like what I was just sharing about drinking it,
Yeah.
I definitely need to learn more about that. And but for as far as like putting it on her and using it, she would be 100% safe.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. I love that we have 2 carrier oils now that we can choose from, right? And with pregnancy, you guys, there's so many different things, that the body could have some support with. So one of the really cool things that I listened to is somebody had taken a 30 ml bottle. So our regular roller bottles are 10 ml. So it's 3 times this size. And they had dumped an entire bottle of Immortelle in it and then filled it with castor oil. And they used that as like their wound or their just everything. They were putting it on their, on their face, on their skin. If, stretch marks, this would be a really great thing for stretch marks. Because if you look at the essential oils that are in there, we're talking the big boys, right? We're talking the really big, great essential oils. And so I will make one of those for my husband tonight before I go home because for his arms that got all beat up. And plus, shoot, if you've been following me for very long, you know that he's had all kinds of different things. So I'm excited to do that. Okay, anyone else? Great question, Kinsley. Okay, let's see what else we have on this slideshow. Okay, oh, here we go. So when you're detox your pathways, everything else works out better, right? Everything functions better. But think of, your car. If you're not taking care of it or your computer, it gets overloaded with things and you have to do a reboot. If you don't do that, it stops. It doesn't work right. And so what I love about these 2 products, I didn't realize how out of focus they were, but let's see. I am so excited. So like I said earlier, they started with Zendocrine. Now we used to have two products. We had an essential oil, which was really there to help detox and support and cleanse our filter organs. Now our filter organs are everything from our skin, our heart, our lungs, all these different things. And so being able to have that essential oil to cleanse and get rid of it. Well, then we also had the supplement, which is the herbal and the plants part, which help to give our filter organs the support and the nutrients to be able to, be healthy. Well, now what they've done is they've taken those great blends and they've just taken them to the next level. So we're talking just like with frankincense, how we had the frankincense oil, but now we have the dual cap. I mean, it's just like next level stuff. So with the Revita Zen, they have added black cumin seed, they have artichoke, and milk thistle. So these are the 4 products that will be in addition to. Now, when you look at the capsules, you'll see that, let me grab one and get it open. You'll see that the capsule is kind of like the turmeric, where you can see an oil and you can also see a powder. I love their technology and what they do with the research so that the product will actually open in our body and absorb where it's going to do the best work. Now, all of these things have a different way that they are supporting us. So one of the speakers, I can't remember, I think it was Alex DeBell, he was talking about how many things we're exposed to every day. Like we are overexposed to toxins and chemicals. And he said at one point that we had enough plastic that we got in our foods that's the size of a credit card. And we're eating that every week. You guys, when he said that, and it gave me this visual, and I'm like, that is like crazy, crazy. And we can't really get away from it with the way that our food is being, sourced and made and everything else. So anyhow, so we really do need to be proactive in helping to cleanse and get rid of the things that are built up in our bodies. And one of the ways that is really great is we have herbs that people are used forever, but now that we add the essential oil, it actually helps to make those things work even better. And it's our body's natural ability to cleanse. So one thing I want you guys to remember is, people are like, okay, so what do we have a cleanse for? So we have a cleanse so that we can really detox and cleanse and get everything out. This one is meant to be on a regular basis that we use. So instead of taking the gel cap sometimes and then the botanical one, it's all in one capsule. And then of course they've upped it. And so it's even better for us. So what this is going to do is it's going to help for our liver support, our kidney support, helping to get our body so that our different chimneys are all open and we are able to get rid of stuff in our body that we're no longer stopped up. I mean, that's a really big concern with a lot of people. So preclinical research has shown that this helps with our digestion, our colon health. I mean, you guys can read on the screen just like I can. And so I'm on day 2 of taking this capsule. The first thing I noticed is I kind of burped up a little cumin and I'm like going, well, I love Mexican food, so I was okay with it. But my body is absolutely going to get used to how and when to use these products. I think another really great thing was with the artichoke, it helps it helps bile from flowing and helps us to stay in a oxidate. It helps our cells with oxidation. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, so I mentioned just real quick a 30-day cleanse. So the 30-day cleanse is shown here on what to do. But really what doTERRA is doing is they're offering guidance on a 90-day reset. And why are they doing 90-day reset? Because, and Laura Jacobs did a really excellent presentation. If you guys have the opportunity to watch any of these recordings, you please do, because, you know, she showed a picture of her garden and how her garden had been overgrown and how she went out there and, you know, you just kind of cut it back a little. Well, no, if you just cut it back a little, you still have that huge mess and dead stuff coming in spring. So she said her and her assistant went out and they, you know, dug deep into the ground to get to the roots and get everything out. So really, if we're just coming in and we're throwing new seeds and we haven't gotten rid of all the weeds and all the other stuff or prepared our soil, the seeds aren't going to grow. If they do, it's going to be a miracle. And so doTERRA has created a 90-day reset, and it is help to, you know, help to activate and balance and get our soil ready. And then there's a phase 2 and a phase 3. We have access to all of this, and that's when I said we'll be going through and doing a deeper dive into each one of these different types of programs and how they can better support all of us. In this, they also added ginger. Ginger came in, had to be in this product. I think in the essential oil blend, the Zendocrine part, ginger was the product that they added to that, and then the others came into the dry powder part. But you guys, I am so excited for this, because Zendocrine is a product that I've been in love with for a really long time. And I love the way that it helps to support. So anyone who, I guess, eats out, drinks, it's around a lot of different chemicals and things like that, things that have been processed, foods that have been, you know, processed, which we're all in that category, right? Our bodies naturally cannot do this cleanse by itself. So liver support and protection, we've got tangerine, rosemary, geranium, and this is where ginger has been added to the essential oil blend. For kidney function, we have juniper berry, and it's amazing to me how many people have been dealing with kidney or UTI infections. This essential oil will be a really great benefit for them. So back to our castor oil, and if you guys do any kind of dry brushing, this would be a great way to add a little bit of castor oil with this Revitazen on there, because it does target those things. You could apply this essential oil blend topically. We know that delivery makes a huge difference. Sometimes people will say, but I've been using this and it's not getting a result, and they'll change their delivery and they'll get a completely different result. Something that I used to do with Zendocrine, which is different or odd for what, you know, most people are used to, is when I would have like acne breakout, or somebody who's going, oh, I'm using all the things, HD Clear and tea tree and nothing's working, I would recommend the Zendocrine, because of its way to support the skin, the layers of the skin, and helping it to cleanse and detox in a different way. Also for wounds that have a hard time healing. So if you're using things like frankincense and Immortelle and you're not getting the result, consider using this now, because it helps to cleanse and you know, move things out of the way. You can see on the right-hand side, 10 ways to use it. I know castor oil is a big one that people are using. This would be another one that you could drop in your belly button if you have digestive or organ, you need organ support. You can use, I mean, the cilantro and everything really helps to work and reduce the oxidative stress from things. And I can't wait. Like you guys, when we get these new things like this, it's like, I can't wait to really start digging in and learning all of the benefits and ways that people can use them. Now, if I'm working with or guiding somebody who is really having a difficult time with liver or kidneys, you guys, as we're just discovering this stuff, we can learn. And if you don't know and I don't know, we will reach out to the support and make sure we're getting the right answers. People can use our products with confidence because they're free of all of the other, like, fairy dusts and powders and things, just like the coconut oil that I was talking about earlier. It's like when it's all grainy and milky looking, it's like, what's in there? You know, and you look at ours and it's crystal clear. So I love that. Okay. Does anybody have anything that they can add for this capsule or oil and how they're going to use it?
Of course I do.
Yes,
This is my product, people. Come on. We should be clapping for this right now. This is a big, big deal. And Bobby and I got the opportunity to interview Dr. Janet Rourke, who is the veterinarian, and she's phenomenal. Oh my gosh, she's the most genuine person and beautiful inside and out. If you ever get the opportunity, you're gonna need to meet her. And we got to interview her, and I will share that. Haley, I think I sent that to you so we can share it. But it's really interesting to hear her talk about the Revitazen. She was so excited to talk about it. And she said, can you give this to your dogs? Yes. Can you give this to your sheep and goats? Yes, because we do parasite cleanses and we have to glove up. They're even toxic to us when we have to give them their parasite cleanse every year before they get pregnant. And it's so cool to hear that they can take these products. And when you hear a vet say they can take these products, you know what that means? That means they're gentle. That means they're safe for the entire freaking family. And that just really, really hit me to the core because my kids and my animals mean the world to me. So knowing that I can put it in the boys' detox baths, obviously we do Zendocrine, but Revitazen is just going to take it to a whole new level. So I'm very, very excited about this product.
we talk about the ways that it's going to support our organs. So locally, we make a hangover kit and people will come in and they'll buy the oil blend that we put together, or they'll get the little capsules, you guys, and people are like, they laugh. Why does it work? And it's like, because it helps your body gently detox and cleanse the contaminants, basically, the things that aren't good for it, and release them from your body. So if you know somebody, and I'm thinking, we do a detox foot soak, 100% I'm going to be adding this to the bottoms of people's feet instead of Zendocrine, because and it's just going to give them even better support on being able to cleanse. And I love that we can use it on our animals, right, Sarah? I mean, it's a really big deal. So it does talk here. I saw in here colon health. So what do you know about how this is going to help with your digestion and colon health?
Can I make a comment, Haley, really quick? I don't know how to raise my hand.
Absolutely, Bobby.
Julie is on, and she says, if I only have one kidney, would this be a great product to start using? Now, I'm not a doctor, but I would think yes, because as you see right there, it promotes kidney health. So I don't know that it would matter if you have one or two, but if anybody can respond to Julie, that would be great.
Bobby, I don't have my entire colon. And they told me in the interview that it's absolutely a must.
Okay.
So we're talking about how much filtration that last kidney is getting. Sorry, Haley, I'm gonna just jump in real fast because I got to really dive into these people. And so just with that one, think about how much work that is doing. It is on overload. And so we need to give it some grace. And to give it some grace, we're going to give it the Revitazen. The Revitazen is going to say, hey, I got you. I got your back. You don't have to work as hard right now because it's doing so much work for two, essentially.
And really, we're talking the capsule. The essential oil is going to help support in being able to lessen the load, but the capsule is the one that's going to have the nutrient part and the big support. And okay, so let's talk really quick. I know you probably have more, Sarah, but they're saying like 1, 2 to 3 a day with a meal. And again, if you're not taking something now, I would say start with 1 a day for maybe a week and just see how it goes. Some of the things that I think people are going to experience is more energy, less sluggage, and the mind clarity. Because when our car is all filled up with gunk and sticky stuff, it's not functioning properly. So we're losing things that we aren't even aware of because we've been feeling that way for so long. And like I said, back to, gosh, what did they say? Something like billions of gallons of pesticides are being sprayed on organic and other foods. And even if you are soaking them and cleansing them and doing all these different things, they still have that chemicals and stuff on them. And so okay, we don't eat that. Well, what about the cattle and the sheep and stuff that are eating the plants that are on the ground that are also getting, they're getting wormed and they're getting this and they're getting that. And, they got to have all these different things. So we have to have something that will help our bodies to be able to support the load that we are exposing it to. And, great food choices and things is amazing, but I love that it's an all-in-one now. Like if you have any kind of organ, if you need any kind of organ support, or if you have a lot of like eating a lot of uh processed food and to go and all that kind of stuff. I mean, of course, the probiotics and everything is one part of it, but this is all of our organs, right? And so what else, Sarah? What else do you want to add to that?
Something else they talked about was alcohol. And so it was funny because my mom's like, yeah, right. Because she likes her glass of wine every single night. And they said, that's fine. We're not saying to limit, we're not saying to change your drinking habits. That's not what they were encouraging. But they said, because of how they've changed the alcohol, like over the years, how it's made and stuff, I guess I need to do more research on that. But they said that our livers are actually working harder than they did 10 years ago, which I didn't realize that either. So it's very, very interesting how everything's changed, even alcohol. So something to consider, even if you have a glass of wine, this is not a bad thing to incorporate into your regimen. Last thing, I promise. I got to also talk to them about the castor oil packs. I like castor oil packs. The chemo doctors actually had my stepdad doing one during his lung cancer treatment every single night. Put the oil on the castor oil pack. So put it with the castor oil. Even if you can't wear it all night, that's fine. So for me, I'd put it on, during bedtime. So we have a 30-minute routine and I'd wear it 30 minutes. So like she said, go slow, but end up putting that Revitazen oil on the castor oil pack.
So helpful. I mean, I think that all of us at every age, every stage, little kids, tummy ache or whatever, get that on, and you could drop it in the belly button. You could put it in a castor pack, and you can also add a heat pack to it too. So you could take that castor oil pack and then take a hot washcloth, because the damp towel is also going to be beneficial. Put that on the top of it, and it's just going to help things go even deeper and even better. I am so excited, you guys, to see and discover all of the ways that this is going to be able to help to support us. Like I said, I'm already a huge Zendocrine fan. And now it's just gone to the next level. And so that glass of wine at night. And so, I think, Sarah, as we're looking at how wine is even made, they're no longer smashing grapes in a bucket, and they're putting all kinds of things on it, and they want it to last a long time. And we don't really consider or think about, well, gosh, the bottle that they're putting it in, has it been washed? And when I'm talking doTERRA, castor oil, those are things that they look for soap residue when they're going from one container to the next. And once it's in there, they test it again to make sure it hasn't been contaminated. This is not the practice of most essential oils, of most companies. And that's why I love that, gosh, when doTERRA does do something like this, I honestly trust that they are taking every measurement, every precaution to make sure that we're getting something that is clean, that is pure, that will be effective, and it might cost a little more. And that's the one thing that when I asked the gal, I said, okay, so why would I buy this over something else? And she just like went to it, and I'm like, I know this. Like, this is stuff that we teach all the time, it is different, and I'm so grateful that we have this. Okay, anyone else have any questions? Bobby, I hope was that helpful? I mean, we're gonna have to learn more for sure.
Haley, I have a quick question. You mentioned UTI, and I was kind of talking to my husband, so I'm not sure if I missed it. What did you, because I have a few people that I just know always get UTIs. Which one were you recommending? The Revitazen or the
Yeah, and the essential oil. So when you
oil?
get the oils that are in there, like the rosemary, the geranium, we're talking oh, and taking the capsule. So we're taking the capsule because of the cumin and all of that. And when we're back a screen, two screens.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but lemon in their water every day.
Yeah. Yep. But
Well, because this is something new, I kind of want to reapproach it again, like in a different way. So that's why I wanted to know, do I, you know, do I say the supplement, the capsules, you know what I mean? I'm kind of just wanting to make sure.
the capsule, because it has the oil and the botanicals and everything in it, the capsule for sure. And then you can also take that oil and you would be able to put it topical over the area. So this is where, and here's a thought, you guys, is those patches that they made for your belly button. It's made and designed to keep the oil in an area, right? Because it's like a little sticky on the top. Well, what if you were to put like a couple of drops of that on, I don't know, over your kidney area or over your pelvic bone and put the patch on the top to keep it where it goes? um so anyway, and we will definitely be discovering and looking into more of those types uses, because like Diane said, it's like, yes, lemon in your water. And as a matter of fact, I was hearing a conversation going on, and whoever was talking said you should have a citrus oil in your water all the time, and in your tea, and in your whatever it is you're doing, you should have citrus oils in there, because those really do help to break down some of those plastics and things. And I'll hear people say, oh yeah, I put lemon, in my water once in a while or whatever. It's like, well, then you're going to get that result. And I think here's the bitchy part of me, sorry, is gosh, if you want to get a different result, you have to do something different. And if you feel all sluggish, well, how are we going to change our oil? Like, how are we going to get in there and what are we going to do? So good. Okay. All right. Anything else about the new products before we go on to the next slide? Okay. I know we'll go deeper, like I said, you guys, but this will give a little bit of a intro. All right, you guys. So this is so exciting. So we mentioned, I don't know, did we mention the Christmas stuff yet? So one of my favorite things about going to a convention is, of course, you get the experience room, you get to talk to all the experts, you get to hang out with them, and they'll tell you all the cool things that they may not be able to say on paper, but is also the holiday products. You guys, I am so excited about the holiday products. If you screenshot this, you should be able to go to that QR code, which will take you to a guide. So the new products that we've mentioned tonight will be available October 1st. The holiday product guide and the products in it will be available November 1st. And I know we did a video saying, okay, what did you like? What did you like? And it was really interesting to see all the different things, but I think hands down, people are super excited about the vanilla lotion and the vanilla lip balm. I think that was like everybody was like, oh yeah, that. And then it was like, oh yeah, and this too. Does anybody want to come on and tell us what they liked or what they're most excited about for the holiday stuff? Okay, Diane.
Okay, mine's really silly. All right, but I'm so excited that they changed the color of the cinnamon drops. The packaging. So here's my cinnamon drops. They sit in my office because I absolutely love them, but they're the same color as On Guard drops. And now they've changed the colors so I can tell the difference. Silly, I know, but
It's a big deal. It's a
yeah.
big deal. Because the cinnamon is cinnamon and has a little kick to it. Yeah, that's a great improvement. And you guys, they get those things from feedback from us, right? So if we have a suggestion, we need to always tell. Okay, who else that wants to share? Come on, you guys.
Well, I was waiting. I was trying to be polite. So the lip balm is bomb diggity. Like, I can't even, I'm very, very, very weird about it. We make our own lip balm. We use goat's milk. It is divine. It is so amazing. But something else they are doing with sale. And we use that so many of my workshops during November and December. We make it in a crock pot. We have all the things. They're coming out and it's going to be easy peasy and it's going to be so much easier for me. I'm super jacked. Plus, it was super cute.
Wassail, I guess it's like tomato. So wassail is a powder. So they've got a powder that you're going to add it to. And I didn't even read what they are adding it to, but something, and it'll have all the flavors and all the different spices and stuff in it already for you. So yes, very, very good. I'm excited about the little owl diffuser. And I wish the owl diffuser came with the new Woodbury scent, because I'm maxing out on the Woodbury. That is a scent that I will have all year long. I absolutely loved it. Just a food for thought is, if you are familiar with the Escape oils, remember people were getting them, were putting them on, and they're going, gosh, it's this, but they're meant for diffusing. So the oil smelling from the bottle was a lot stronger, but when they were diffusing it, I remember walking up to, we weren't even to their booth yet. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is that amazing scent? And I don't know, I might have been the only one on the planet that was thinking that, but I can't wait. So, and then Ani, I think they also like the cute little pump for the On Guard foaming hand wash.
Yeah, that was great. Those are just like little things that I just love because if you're depending on your coloring, bathroom, kitchen, they had a white pump with the black top. I also just love I'm not even a honey girl, but
Yeah.
most of you know I wasn't feeling well during convention, and I kind of was open to, I know honey's good for you. I tasted the honey lavender. It was delicious. And the drops that we've had every year, and I've just during Christmas last year they had it. I passed on it. The lemon lime or lemon. Oh my God, Haley took a handful for me. In fact, yesterday when I took my mom to the doctor's appointment, I had one in my bag and I just love it. Love, love, love. So sometimes we know products, we just kind of never use it, or we don't experience it. Off the subject of Christmas, again in the evening when I couldn't breathe and I was just like, oh, Sarah gave me super mint, after I showered and laid in bed and I was feeling okay. Then just suddenly I couldn't breathe. I was just stuffy. It was horrible. And, I was doing breathe, but super mint. I mean, I was like, oh my God, I just diffused that and I've never really just inhaling it. Thank you, Sarah. I don't know who I was telling yesterday again. Just like now, I want super mint. I want to give it to everyone that is sick, especially coming up. In the next few months, we're gonna kind of face a lot of that stuff. Just opening up the airways. It was just amazing, and I finally was able to go to bed. So it's just depending, experiencing at different times. You might just love products differently, because you have a need for it.
Well, the lemon lime throat drops, I remember somebody saying, oh gosh, when you have congestion and you're feeling tight, here, you just suck on it. And I remember last year trying it during a season, and I was amazed also. But I mean, I picked cinnamon because I'm a hot spicy girl, but yeah, there are reasons that people use them. Another thing that you could do is throw one of those in a hot cup of water, right, and kind of sip on it. I do want to point out in the center of the screen on the holiday guide, there's a little diffuser. So this one is, from what I understand, replacing the bubble. And what was good about that, and I remember, is right now the bubble does these 3 little poofs of oil. And I think this new one does like a stream of it. So it's like, it just, instead of puffing, it just goes on and then it turns off. And because people kept flashing their hands in front of it, we never did get to see it because it's timed, right? At least I didn't get to witness that. Leslie, what about you? What did you love about it? Or what did you love about the whole thing?
Convention itself.
Sure, whatever.
I love the new products. I loved the experience room and hearing about the new products. I love Mel Robbins. She was incredible. I love the lavender honey. That was one of my favorite products. And I just really enjoyed reconnecting with friends that I'd already met and then connecting with new people that I had met. So I think the people part of it is really important. At least for me, it is. I always enjoy seeing friends that I see on Zoom, but I don't see any other time because we're too far away. So it's always a joy to see everybody. So
So
that was,
true.
yeah.
What else? Anything else?
I took my first Revitazen this morning and I'm going to take it every day. As you can tell, I am a little stuffed up. So I think, Ani, you shared your cold with me. No worries. It's not, it's very mild. It's not a big deal. I don't know. I think that those were the things that I enjoyed most. So
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. All right, Diane.
Hey, I want to talk.
Oh, Tammy gets to talk.
Okay, Tammy, go ahead and then I'll talk.
Thanks, Diane, just because you've already spoken once and my house is finally quiet. So all the things that you guys have been saying, this is something I want to encourage anybody who might be watching this, who is going, gosh, do I want to do this as a business or do I not? But something I experienced, first of all, I love the owl. And because I have two granddaughters coming within, 4 months of each other, they both will be getting the owl diffuser. It's going to fit perfect in their rooms. And then the honey. I absolutely loved the honey. Now I've been pretty spoiled because even after last year's doTERRA's honey that they released, because we make our spiced honey that you can find in the Good Vibes recipe book. I've been very spoiled with that. I love the flavor of that, but this lavender honey was pretty dang amazing. But back to anybody who's watching this and not sure, we all said, oh, we're not going to do this as a business, right? But you guys, I went and to check out picking up my convention kit, and an employee of doTERRA that had been employed with doTERRA for 12 years was talking to me about, he said he had some skin issues and, what was I thinking to tell him to do or whatever, because all he had been told to take, I cannot remember what he did say, but he had had skin issues, been to the doctor. He kind of had from small areas head to toe. And you guys, I was able to share with him about gut health a little bit. And when we talked a little bit about, first of all, it was the VMG. And I just know that the universe had my back because he was my guy the both times that I checked out. And after all those people. But I said, if you don't want to start off with the whole foundational wellness kit, and this is an employee of 12 years of doTERRA, you guys, who has access to, but just connection and timing. Anyway, the second time I went back and I said, he was saying something about even with an employee discount, there was a little bit of a cost issue with him. And I said, I would love for you to try the Terrazyme, anywhere between 6 to 10 a day or 3 to 6 a day or something, at least 1 to 2 with every meal, and then 1 or 2 before he went to bed. And he was so appreciative. But again, the opportunities, they're everywhere. And obviously, I didn't give him any information to try to sign him up because I really don't know the policy. But just when we think, oh, everybody's heard of this or doTERRA, or those of us in a small town, oh, it's saturated. This is not a fad. This is a lifestyle change, and people everywhere are waiting for what we have access to. So that was really my win over convention. Honestly, it kind of reboosted me because I've had a really slow season, if you will. So that's it.
It's
I
good
love-
awareness. Good awareness, right? Okay, Diane.
I love that, Tammy. Love, love, love that. So I want to share my favorite things from convention. Number one is that my husband goes with me, and he loves the science. I'm there to just soak up everything I can from connections with all of you guys and new people. But what I really, really am loving about this company is because we have now been they've been a company for, I want to say 18 years. So I've been in doTERRA for half of that. And doTERRA's had time to run clinical trials. And so what I love is all the new research that's coming out and supporting the things that we already know and we already believe in. They now have proof. And we're going to be able to share that proof with all those people that are like, well, it's an MLM, or you shouldn't take oils internally, whatever, that's what I'm super, super excited about. And I'm super excited about going to Orlando next year for convention. So any of my team on here that want to go, we're going to Orlando for convention. Come with us. In addition, it's always so inspirational to see how doTERRA as a company is not just an essential oil company. Their reach is far beyond essential oils, supplements. They do so much good worldwide through their healing hands, through their co-impact sourcing. And those are the kinds of things I love, the things that really touch my heart. And I'm going to get off of here before the tears start rolling, because you know how I get. Anyway, that's what I love about the convention and this company. Thanks.
It's a big deal, who you partner with in business and in your products, right? And the cars you drive, like people pick a car that they like, a phone type that they like, and we've picked, this health and wellness. And I loved when Dr. Hill got up there and he, of course, gets his little heart in there, and it's like, we are an essential oil company. This is who we are. This is what we do. And our products that we come up with are even more effective because they have the power of essential oils behind them. And it is right. I mean, I think when Tammy was talking, I thought of the guy who paints homes for a living, and their house is the one that needs painted the most because you're so busy out there helping and serving other people. And I just want to say, again, a huge shout out to you guys for continuing to learn, continuing to, get trained and get the resources and do the studies and listen to what other people are having for success and being a product of the product. Because I mean, I think most of you guys that are on here, and a lot of you guys who will watch the recording, is you can't convince me that it doesn't work. And the opposite of that is, oh, I've got all these oils and they're sitting in the cupboard and I don't know what to do with them. And well, have you tried them? Have you tried them? How about you just open one up and just use one for a week and see what happens, and it's pretty amazing. And being able to use our voices, and going back to Mel Robbins is, just let all of the stories, let all of the fear, I mean, action, or let's see, fear creates, I can't remember what saying this and I'm too tired to say it, but anyway, action and fear and action. You guys got it. It's like it takes one or the other, right? And if we have one, you don't have the other. But as soon as you take action, that fear goes away. We witnessed it how many times? 3 times on stage, right? And how quickly it happened. And it's like, we can do that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Because it's a shame if we're not out there sharing the results of what's happening here. So I want you guys, as we're going forward, is like, how do I get to show up and show up in service? How do I get to, what things can I help other people solve? Because as people are out there struggling with all kinds of digestive issues, all kinds of organ issues, all kinds of skin and issues, we have things that will help them. And if we're standing in our own way, it's time to, get out of our way and just let our light shine. And that goes back to why I'm so happy that, shine was this year's theme, is because it's your time to shine. Leslie, it's your time to shine. Sarah, it's your time to shine. Tammy, you shine, share with others of all the things. Lastly, you guys, I'm just going to show you the new product guides. This is how big they are. I don't know if you can see on the screen, but they're little. you know, I mean, it's like a 5x7 or something like that, 4x6. And they're just packed and they're little, they're compact. doTERRA has also, back to, you know, Tammy's, is they've come up with the little sample packs, right? That people can, you know, get and try the product. You know, and yes, when you say, gosh, I tried it for a week and I didn't notice anything different, it's like, really, did you? Because tell me when you used it then, right? Because we know when people are using these products and when they're using the things, just like Ani, she's going, gosh, Superman, I hadn't really needed it. But now you've felt it and you experienced it. So every time Ani has somebody who has what she was experiencing, guess what she's going to recommend? Right? And now you've got something really great to share. And so amazing. And this is what I love about our collaboration and our community and our networks, is because we are in it to win it. We're here to support each other and deepen those relationships and see how we can help to cheer each other on in understanding that you can shine, right? Okay, Sarah.
Hey, and I got to go talk to him about why they made those smaller. And it was super interesting. He said, so they fit in the box, so they don't have to mail them out separately. And I said, well, that's, you know, super smart. And he said, because they've been thinking about this for a long time so that they can put more money in your guys' pockets.
Yep.
And I just thought that was really interesting because you don't think about how postage adds up. It just does.
Well, we do actually, and that's why I'm super grateful for these. Is because if we can give a sample in an envelope and put a postage stamp on it versus, you guys, I can't remember what I did. I was mailing out a whole bunch of different things and these were little, like I'm talking like a bracelet. They were costing me like $7 to ship. It was like, what happened? You know, never mind. I will give you a price, but you're paying the shipping. I mean, it's crazy how that kind of stuff works. But anyhow, you guys, super grateful for you guys. And Tuesday nights, 5:30, invite your friends and everything. I haven't got all the details worked out. If you're here local in Elko, be ready because starting in October, we will be doing in-person classes every Wednesday at 5:30. So I'm excited for that. And I would encourage anyone else to start doing and creating that stuff. I mean, we have quite an amazing group of people who like to get together. We're going to have to probably start recruiting again, but we usually do have quite a few people, and it started with one. And it can start with you too, right? Just inviting a few people. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.